Yes friends, what's poppin'? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that, genuinely. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on the channel every single day where I reflect on what's being said about the Blues, giving you my opinion on it, more importantly asking for yours. Today, we're talking about Matson going to Dortmund, extending his contract with Chelsea, a release clause being included, Chelsea's new kit for next season. We're gonna take a little look at that as well, and go across a Matt Law article from the Telegraph giving detail about Matson and other bits in between. It's gonna be an awesome video, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the channel. If you want to support the content, you're welcome to simply by liking and subscribing. Hit the bell if you choose to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for exclusive nudes. All right then, let's get into it. Check out this horror show. That's right, next season's home kits, so saith footyheadlines.com. This picture shows our predicted full look of the new Chelsea Football Club home kits, of course the Nike kit, for next season. And my giddy aunt, my word, I'm not sure how I feel about this, ladies and gentlemen. Wiggly lines, I don't mind the collar so much. Heck, I could even get over the orange border around the Chelsea badge, but that pattern over the whole Chelsea blue really has got me raising an eyebrow. Maybe it would look better with a front of shirt sponsor on, which is actually kind of a rare instance when you want the sponsor to be on there. But maybe with the sponsor on and on the players, it'll all come together and it will click and it will make sense. Of course, at time of recording, I don't think Chelsea have a front of shirt sponsor for next season. Infinite Athlete is to the end of this season. Of course, we've got the new Bing X shirt sleeve sponsor as well. That's to the end of this season. Both of them I still think will be affiliated with Chelsea moving forwards, but into different parts of the club, like different, I think Bing X is going to be on the training kit. I think Infinite Athlete is going to remain a partner as like a data software service, but I don't think they're going to be the front of shirt sponsor. There might be a small chance, but I'm not entirely sure. I think Chelsea will really take time to negotiate big deals now and try and make much more revenue with this kind of stuff, as was the plan all along for the new ownership. But what do we think of that new shirt from Nike? Okay. Look, let's be real, we've had some horror shows of late. We've also had some kind of like nice ones. Of course, that Lampard first season, we had that really nice mod style polo with the collar that I really liked. I didn't buy that, annoyingly, I should have done. Even that third kit, remember, with the weird orange collar, a lot of people saw that as an all-timer. We've had some peculiar ones in between. I'm really not entirely sure about this home kit. Look, Footy Headlines, by the way, they like don't miss. They only do hits. So I haven't just pulled out some random rumoured kit edit out of my behind and presented it to you here on my YouTube channel. These guys are legit. They always nail it. They always get it right. So that is it. To the point where I'm thinking actually like the kit manufacturers like Nike and Adidas, they're probably briefing this company to like get a vibe of what people think of their designs and then just send them out anyway, because they never change them. Anyway, let me know what you think about the kit down in the comment section below, and let's move on and talk about some transfer business and general news. Tweet from Fabrizio Romano, exclusive, he says, Ian Matson signs a new deal with Chelsea valid until 2027. It's a 2-year extension and it will include a release clause. The release clause will be valid starting from the summer of 2024, so essentially at the end of this season. So Matson, of course, will fly to Dortmund tonight to join Borussia Dortmund on loan. The medical is tomorrow, as he has revealed. We're going to read an article in a few minutes, or a couple of moments, from Matt Law speaking about this rumoured extension, but it's an exclusive that it's been done, I suppose, from Fabrizio Romano. Ian Matson has signed a new deal with Chelsea, a 2-year extension to offer that security. Of course, he was in the last 18 months of his deal. We'll talk more at length on this deal in the Matt Law article, I'm sure. But it's good news. Ultimately, it gives him 6 months to go and show what he can do for Dortmund. The release clause will be active in the summer. I'm really intrigued, actually, to find out what the release clause is. Like, of course, again, to reference what we accepted in the summer from Burnley, it was a £31.5 million bid, nearly 32 million quid. Now, I don't think the release release clause will be that much, but I do wonder if it's like 20-25 million pounds. And again, to reference that dirty phrase again, pure profit, that will be ding 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 for the Chelsea owners. They'll dig that, will be good for them, and ultimately they'll see it as good business. I wonder if there'll be a buyback clause, because maybe Chelsea will even consider looking at different left backs. I personally don't think we need that. I've said it on the channel that, you know, I feel like with Cucurella, Chilwell, and even Colwell and Gusto doing a job at left back, I don't think we need to replace Ian Matson unless we're replacing him as a front four player, which I'm not sure we need to do either. Anyway, but this is a victory for the owners. They don't want anyone getting into the last 2 years of their deal, let alone the last 18 months of his deal, which of course Matson was in. That's no longer an issue. He's signed an extension. Their terms of, or the way they want to run Chelsea, they're back in line with that, so they'll be very, very pleased with that, and they'll feel they are protecting a very good asset in Matson, and that this is good business. This is, you know, a big check off the list for this January period. Of course, in terms of 18 months left on his deal, another pure profit asset that could be sold is Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher is yet to extend with Chelsea. I'm sure Chelsea are trying to extend him. Of course, Pochettino has spoken at length about how much he likes Conor Gallagher. When asked about the contractual situation, Pochettino is quite coy in his responses, saying, it's between the player and the club, I can't get involved. He's not said, if they love me, they need to extend this boy because he's a big player in my team. He's not giving any of that quite yet. He's being about, you know, very, very sort of sensitive and coy around the whole subject, but I feel like the way he's spoken so positively about him, and, you know, ultimately his actions of just giving him the armband and playing him in every single game and just trusting him, and he's the player he always calls over to the touchline to give instructions. Look, they'll see that. The sporting directors will see that. The owners will see that. We all see that. So you'd have to assume that it's a priority to extend him. Conor, of course, wants to stay at Chelsea, but a little bit more on his terms. He probably also understands that he's in a little bit of a position of power. You know, I don't think he's the kind of person to try and take Chelsea for a ride, but, you know, he'll have representatives that say, hold on, mate, recognise what you represent here, an England international, or, you know, one of the maybe top 2-3 most important players in the Chelsea team this season. You know, keep your powder dry, mate. We can get some good juice out of this. I mean, if his despite how much he tells his agent, I love Chelsea, just let's get this done, they won't be doing their job if they don't say, you know, chill out, mate, let's at least see what can happen here. You know, we're not going to hold them to ransom, but let's see if we can get your worth here, mate. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we'll be watching this situation very closely here on the channel, so of course, make sure you keep it locked to Football Therapy to always keep up with any and all developments regarding this. Alright then, let's hop on over to the Telegraph and see what Matt Law is saying. Chelsea aim to boost Ian Matson's value with a loan to Dortmund. Although the 21-year-old is being sent out on loan, by tying him down to a new contract, Chelsea believe they can sell him later at a profit. Ultimately, they will be selling him at a profit because he is a academy graduate. But I'm sure he means more money, more profit, right? Ian Matson is set to complete a loan move to Borussia Dortmund after the German club agreed to pay Chelsea about £2 million to take him until the end of the season. Matson, a left back, is also due to extend his contract until 2027 to put the club in a strong negotiating position over a permanent sale in the summer, although a new contract is thought to contain a release clause, of course, since Fabrizio Romano has confirmed as much. Having seen such players as Jadon Sancho and Jude Bellingham shine at Dortmund and attract big money moves, Chelsea believe Matson's value could soar in Germany. That has convinced the club to allow him to move to Germany for a relatively modest loan fee in the hope that they will be able to cash in at the end of the season. Matson was due to travel to Germany on Tuesday to complete his loan switch and was left out of Mauricio Pochettino's squad for the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg against Middlesbrough. The 21-year-old who turned down a move back to Burnley last summer will agree personal terms and undergo a medical before his loan move to Dortmund is formally completed. Matson was nearing the end of his Chelsea contract, but the club are expected to agree an extension with the idea of selling him permanently in the summer. Again, Romano has since confirmed this. Pochettino had largely used Matson as a substitute during the first half of the season and often played him as a makeshift winger during his 15 appearances. Meanwhile, Chelsea's owners have put £140 million back into the club by buying 1,000 new shares. Although the injection of cash was, according to Companies House, made just before the start of the January transfer window, it is unclear what the money will be used for. The club are still believed to have transfer instalments to pay on existing players and have also missed out on European revenue this season. Oh, lots of interesting stuff there. Firstly, to put a bow on the Ian Matson stuff, yep, all good to me. It sounds like a good move, and there's no reason to believe that this won't be a positive thing, essentially, for Chelsea. His value will go up at Dortmund, unless it goes terribly wrong and he doesn't play. But if that does happen, it's only 6 months, and he's extended his contract anyway. In the summer, we just reevaluate and say, well, it's a bit unfortunate that went wrong. Who saw that coming? Let's start again. We've still got some time in his contract. He's a big talent. Let's send him somewhere else to, develop his value. Fine. Speaking more broadly on transfers, Chelsea owners have put more money into the club by buying shares, £140 million. Now, how does that work in terms of profit and sustainability rules? Does buying 1,000 shares, and for that money make you available for transfer funds immediately? Maybe, I guess so, because it's not just throwing money in loosely out of nowhere, it's buying shares. Feel free if you know more about the financial aspects of this than me to comment down below. I'm sure as time goes on and we read more about this story and, an explainer on The Athletic or some other publication will highlight the positives and negatives of doing this. But for the moment it's interesting. Clearly the Chelsea owners are still very, very happy to pump money into this Chelsea project and probably see where we are right now as still the embryonic phase of their long-term plan, long-term scheme. Of course, they've got Project 2030 with buying the young players. They're very much seeing it long-term. They want to offer long-term security, safety, and hopefully success for Chelsea Football Club. And really, I'm all for that long-term planning. I think it's something that's been severely and sorely lacking from the Chelsea project for the last 2 decades. Though, of course, we've enjoyed a great deal of success. I'm so intrigued what's going to happen in the coming days because Chelsea often move very quickly in the dark in the latter stages, the latter hours of transfer windows. We've spoken about this quite a lot. Different YouTube content creators are saying Chelsea shouldn't buy anyone. I can totally see how that would be okay. I don't think if there was a striker on the market to go and get that made total and utter sense that wanted to come to Chelsea, maybe. I don't think Victor Osimhen's gettable right now. I don't think Brentford are going to sell Ivan Toney, and I don't think all the strikers in between are worthy of buying in January to sort of hashtag save your season, because the sort of slam dunk strikers into your lineup in January, they've got to be really, really accomplished, otherwise you can't bank on them to just finish chances and score goals. And all these other sort of maybe strikers that are in the middle of their own campaigns, putting them into a new country, league, language, in the middle of the season where the first half they're emotionally, mentally in one campaign in one club, to chuck them into another, I'm not so sure that's something that you can bank on. So maybe you do just keep your powder dry. Saying that, of course, we are Chelsea fans, we are football fans. If Chelsea, buy someone, it will be exciting, we will be intrigued, we will be compelled to see how it goes. We have to reflect on the Matson deal as just positive business, getting that done, extending his contract. Look, if we get some news in the next couple of weeks that Conor Gallagher signs a new contract with Chelsea, that'll be massive news. That'll be massive news, it'll be an alleviation across all Chelsea fans, and we'll look forwards from there and go, okay, so what next? Really, man, it's injuries, isn't it? Chilwell, Carney Chukwuemeka is going to be back soon. That's massive. Lavia. If you get Lavia and Kunku, Chilwell and Carney back to this Chelsea starting 11, superb. If you see some minutes on the grass at the end of the season from Wesley Fofana, woo! Superb. Who knows? Maybe even, I don't know if Reece James can do some stuff before the end of the season. These players coming back, even Cucurella, I know he's not the sexiest name on the list, but his reintroduction into the side can be really, really useful and helpful. And who knows what's going on with the goalkeepers of Rob Sanchez. So it's kind of like we've got players, we've got assets, and we've got a developing attack. There's positive news stories of late in this Chelsea side, whether it's, of course, granted Cole Palmer's kind of been all season, but Noni Madueke, he's a really intriguing story. Of course he plays on the right wing like Cole does, but it gives the opportunity for Cole to move into the number 10 or rotate Cole, or who knows, if Palmer gets injured or is fatigued, just has an off day, you've got a really, really useful player there. It is a success story, and one of note. Pochettino's explained how he just wasn't happy with Noni Madueke. Something was off with his mentality or something. Of course, he was injured as well, and now he is. He sees a shift. He's done like good man management. I think he is quietly navigating the minds of these young players well, Pochettino. I heard Liam Twomey speak about on the Straight Out of Cobham podcast, speak about Palmer, about how he's been talking him down a little bit, like in the same way as maybe a Breuer needs to be talked up for him to find his feet in confidence. He maybe looks at Cole Palmer and thinks yeah, you need to be talked down a little bit. Obviously it's great that he's got the confidence of the best player in the world, but maybe that will stop him from developing as fast as he could do. I think Pochettino, he's always been, reported and rumoured to be this excellent young player coach in terms of pushing them, making them better. I mean, obviously people talk about Harry Kane, of course that whole Tottenham team. I mean, Mbappe loved Pochettino as well, apparently. But a really fleeting example was Dele Alli. I know he had a really difficult personal time throughout his life, but look how Pochettino got into his head and made this 17 Premier League goals from an attacking midfield position for what was he, 19, 20 at the time. Pochettino clearly has a gift for that. So with time, your Noni Maduekes, your Bruyers, of course, your Palmers, and hopefully Mudryk slowly, these guys start clicking, people start speaking less and less about what Chelsea need, and start speaking a little bit more and more about what Chelsea have got. Still, I'm really, really excited to see how things go. I'm buzzing. I think if there is a signing, I'll be very, like a kid on FIFA, I'll be excited to see what happens. And I will, of course, report on it here, reflect on it here, and comment on it here. So I hope to see you guys back. Thank you for liking and subscribing at Football Yannick on Instagram if you want to follow me on the socials. And yeah, man, of course, keep it locked. I'll do a reaction video after the game tonight. So thanks very much. See you soon. Peace.